Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Swipe Up, the 127th episode of the show where I share some of my favorite posts from Instagram. I was going to say episodes. Some of my favorite posts from Instagram. Let's get it started, shall we, with a celebration, a 10-year celebration of Ari Shaffir's Skeptic Tank. Stand-up comedian Ari Shaffir, podcaster Ari Shaffir. He's been doing his podcast Skeptic Tank for 10 years, a show where he interviews people about a single topic, of a variety of topics. Each episode is a different topic, different guest, for the most part. And it's been a pleasure of mine to be a very small part of that podcast. I think 300 or 299, I think. Episode 299 was the first Photoshop I did for Ari, and I've done many of them over the years. It's been a while since I've done any for his show, but it's always been a pleasure. I've done some for his stand-up tours and other things, some Photoshop work for him. So it's been a pleasure to work for Ari and to be a part of the Skeptic Tank. And because of his 10-year anniversary, his podcast account, RIP Ari Shaffir, has posted a bunch of Photoshops from not only stuff that I've done, but other people have done over the years. And it's really cool. It's been Photoshops that, because not every Photoshop I did was used. It was basically anybody could submit their Photoshop for the episode, and he paid whichever one he used, he paid them for using it. And then there was a lot of them that he didn't use, which I understand. You can't choose me, even though mine are clearly the best. Not really every time. But yeah, there's a lot of episodes that were not used at the time of, but it's been fun to see them posted up. I posted all of them on my Photoshop Instagram account, Ray Taylor Photoshop, if you want to see all of the Skeptic Tank. I just posted the Skeptic Tank Photoshops that I've done, but it's been really cool to see all these Photoshops that for his episodes over the years. Really cool. So check it out if you're looking for a podcast to subscribe to. You like comedians. He's a very interesting guy. Ari Shaffir is probably one of the most unique individuals, and really an artist. He's an artist, I would say. He's not afraid to break the rules. He's not afraid to piss people off. He understands that there are no rules with art, and that you can do whatever you want to do. So let's move on now. Congratulations to Ari Shaffir and the team of people that he has working for him now, which is cool. So moving on to a little bit of lighter note, when it's time to cross the street, why not have this? Little street light broken, the walk symbol light. It looks like a dude jerking off, leaned back too, like a very relaxed jerk off. To bring it back to the last post, if Ari Shaffir was ever to be spotted jerking off in public, this might be the pose that he would use. Just very relaxed. I don't care. Maybe I didn't realize there were people around. But yeah, that's got to be the best. If that'd be my favorite part of like walking around a street, is to see this broken street light. Hilarious. I don't know if it was hacked or if it was broken, because clearly the lights are, it's not the same. Or maybe it's just an edited video. I don't really know what I'm looking at here, other than just a little figure jerking off. Anyway, move on to another form of masturbation. Not really. This is a picture of students back to school in band class, but each of the students is in their own little pod. I believe these are made. Initially, I saw these for like people who, just wanted to have protection from the sun, but have like a very and also very secluded. It's kind of an interesting one man pod kind of a thing. Tent. They probably roll up into a small disc shape that's almost impossible to put them back into that shape, I'm sure. Um, but yeah, really interesting to see the reality we're living in with people really wanting to get their kids back in school, which I understand. Parents aren't really equipped to be homeschooling their kids, and nobody's really equipped to homeschool their kids. Even the kids who are being homeschooled are probably not getting a very good. Some are getting a great education. My experience was just not doing anything. I was given the answer book, so I just had to do the work, fill in the answers for like a year and a half that I was in homeschool. But yeah, just kind of a ridiculous picture of school band practice. I mean, imagine having to crawl in there to like I don't know. It's so ridiculous. But thankfully the vaccine's out and things will change. Now moving on to this one, just a cool cat doing Morse code. Just kind of a cool imagery of a cat licking water out of a fountain and it doing it in a very rhythmic, repetitive way. Really does look like Morse code in a way. Um, I'm not a big cat person necessarily, but just it's a very unique way to display a cat drinking water out of a faucet, which is something that cats are known to do. My roommate has cats. You see them, making out with the faucet all the time. There's a little drip in the faucet. It's easy water access for them. But this is an interesting kind of unique way to view that, um, kind of stretching out the pixels in a way. Yeah, interesting stuff. All right, moving on now. Last but not least, a reason to abolish the death penalty. This is a video of Kwame Ajamu. Spent 28 years in prison, 2 of those years on death row. He recently released, thankfully. I believe he's recently released, right? Yeah, I'm assuming that's what it is. Anyway, and there's a little story here about when he was convicted at 18 years old, and after finding out the news that he was going to be, uh, sent to prison to die, sentenced to death at 17. A 60-year-old, one of the 60-year-old guards, like took him back, and you could tell in the eyes of the guard that it wasn't good. His life was not going to be good from that point. And this is part of a movement, part of a series by Martin Scholler, um, part of the trying to get people who are on death row off of death row, trying to abolish death penalty as a punishment. And just an amazing. I mean, it's a portrait, but a video, so it's like it brings life to a photo in a way that he hasn't been given for 28 years. But happy to see he's out. Hopefully, the if you're in New York at Photographiska in New York, the display of his work, of this guy's work, uh, the death row exonerees. It's a death row exoneree video installation, and it's up until March 28th in New York. So if you're in New York and you want to check it out, highly recommend checking it out. If there's ways to donate, highly recommend. If you got money to put towards a cause, getting people off of death row and to get that punishment, that type of punishment, gone from our society. Definitely a good cause to have. All right, so let's move on. Let's that was the last one. Let's do some shout outs. We'll get out of here. So shout out to RIP Ari Shafir. Shout out Nerd Lokakawa. Shout out Dave _Anthony_. Shout out D _Photoshop_4_U. Shout out Francois Vogel. Shout out Nat Geo. Shout out Martin Scholler. But most importantly, Shout out to you. Get yourself 2 free audiobooks through Audible when you go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/audible. That's 2 free audiobooks just by going through my link, inspireddisorder.com/audible. If you stay with the service, you get a free book every month. Audible Originals also available, guided wellness programs, news, and so much more. But get yourself 2 free books because you're a listener of The Ray Taylor Show by going through inspireddisorder.com/audible and get yourself 2 free books. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. And follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!